Hey, what's up, guys? So today I'm going to be reacting to Darryl Rosser's lead generation business, easy money, question mark. Here's why I quit. So let's go take a look at all the reasons why he quit lead generation, and I'm going to rebuttal.
You could skip this ad.
If you search for lead generation on YouTube, you will find video after video telling you can make $100 a day, $200 a day, $300 a day, $1,000 a day from selling leads to local.
No, with lead generation, you're not going to be making $1,000 a day. That's a little egregious. Most local lead generation sites make anywhere from $500 to $2,000 per month. But the great thing is, especially how we do it, is free traffic. So it's pretty much 95% profit margins, and it's autopilot. So it doesn't take too many of those lead gen sites to where you're hitting 10K per month of passive income.
Businesses. And in this video, I'm here to crush your dreams and tell you it isn't as easy as everyone's making it out to be. And in fact, it's...
Remember, this kid has incentive to shit on lead gen for traffic because at the time he was selling an SEO agency course, which he's not selling anymore. Whereas me and Dan, we've been teaching the lead generation business model since 2014, still going strong in 2023. So that just goes to show the testament of how successful our model of lead generation is.
Crappy business model. So let me explain.
No, it's not crappy.
First, I've actually done lead gen. I'm not some guy that's hating on this and has never done it before. And I know it works, and I still don't.
Remember, there's many different forms of lead generation. So when he says he's done lead generation, I'm curious to hear what kind of way he was doing a lead generation business.
Really recommend it. And here's why. Clients suck. Like, not they really.
No, I've had plenty of amazing clients over the years that just pay me on time every month. I hardly ever even talk to them. There's going to be shitty clients in any business, whether you do SEO agency, social media agency. There's shitty clients out there, but it's up to you to find the good ones.
Really suck. Now, don't get me wrong, I have clients and I work with clients even to this day. However, if I'm gonna have clients, I'd rather just get paid up front for the work I'm gonna do. Now, with lead gen, you can take a...
Of course, everybody wants to get paid up front, but the problem is, why would a client want to pay you up front when you're a beginner or nobody knows who you are? You know, you're going to have to go through a lot of rejection to try to get paid up front. Okay, maybe someone like Darryl, who's got a lot of clout, a YouTube channel, got the trust factor to get paid up front by select clients. But most people, when they're first starting out, it's very difficult to convince a business owner to pay you up front.
Deposit up front, but it really adds a whole bunch of hassle. And the reason is because you're paid for good performing leads. You're not paid for every lead. But this is the biggest problem. It's not that you agree, okay, it's $100 for every lead, because maybe you do agree that, but what happens in reality? In reality, you generate a lead for them and they don't answer the phone.
Okay, so what he's describing here is if you're generating leads using paid traffic like AdWords or Facebook ads, where your client is actually having to spend money to generate traffic, then if you generate shitty leads, of course your client is not going to want to pay for that, right? But if you generate leads how we teach, which is free traffic, it doesn't matter if some leads are shitty or not. At the end of the day, like, you have a total amount of leads you generated for the month. The client knows how much money they made off of your leads, and then we just earn a percentage of the total volume of revenue we brought to the table.
Or you generate a lead for them and the sales guy screws it up. Essentially, you're relying on them doing a good job with the lead, because if they don't answer the phone, you can sure as heck bet that they don't want to pay you for that lead. And if they screw that lead up...
Again, if you're running like AdWords agency, what a lot of AdWords agency, how they charge their client is they guarantee a certain amount of leads. Like, for example, if the client's budget is $2,000 in AdWords budget, then the AdWords company is their duty to promise a certain amount of leads. Let's just say 50 leads, right? And so the client already paid for those leads, like $2,000. If you divide $2,000 by 50 leads that you promised them, that comes out to like $40 per lead that the client is paying if you're running AdWords. So of course, if you're just sending them shitty leads, the client is not going to be happy and they're not gonna want to pay for that lead. So like, again, when you're running lead generation business like how we do it, which is free traffic, you don't have to worry about all those different things.
and they don't stay on the phone for 30 seconds, 60 seconds, or they don't convert into an appointment and stuff like that, you can be sure that they don't want to pay for this lead again. Essentially, you're not actually getting paid for every lead, you're getting paid for every lead that converts, or is at least very, very close to converting.
Yes,
and
if you're running paid traffic.
On your client doing a very good job of this. Now, what this usually leads to is having to track every single lead that goes through, which is fine, but then also having to record every single lead that goes through, which is fine, but also having to listen to every single recording that goes through, or paying someone else to do this.
No, there's ways around this. If you do this model, like for example, like if it's like a shitty lead, the client can hang up the call like real quick. So you can do it where in your call tracking software, you only charge for a lead if it goes over 30 seconds, longer than 30-second duration, then that was a real lead. If it's a sales call or any of these crappy calls, you can just teach the client to hang up within 30 seconds.
On your behalf. Now, you can try and simplify this a little bit, and certain clients will definitely be okay with this. For example, saying if they stay on the phone for longer than 30 seconds, then it's a qualified lead, and having really strict, clear qualifications on this. But overall, it's a pain to deal with. Beyond that, the other big selling point people advertise with this is that
I agree that it's a pain to deal with. That's why I don't like doing that kind of. I like to just prove how much revenue that I bring to the table with free traffic, and then eventually I get them on a flat fee deal. So like my lead gen sites pay me anywhere from $1,000 to $3,000 flat fee each and every month.
It's easy. You know, it's easy, you just generate leads. And that is true depending on how you're doing this. For example, if you're doing this with SEO, it is not really true because it's significantly easier to rank a client's website than a brand new website. Now, if you're doing Facebook ads or something, sure, it makes sense because it's pretty much the same thing. You just do it for yourself rather than them, and you're just making money on the leads. This makes sense. But again, you're still reliant on the clients not screwing up your leads, which is even more difficult with Facebook ads when they're not directly.
Just to circle back on what he said, easy doesn't always mean it's better. What he's going to try to start saying is it's easier to rank a client site because the client site's been around for a while. The problem with an SEO agency or doing SEO for another person's website is that they can, once you rank their website, you put in all the hard work and months of work into the site to rank it. And then once they're ranked, they can decide to leave you. I don't do that kind of stuff. What we teach is we rank our own websites. So when we get to the top position, we own that property. So a client has to continue paying us. They can't leave because we control it. We control the asset and the lead flow.
Searching for a service, and you have to offer some sort of promotion or some sort of deal to get them in. It's a lot more difficult to deal with a lead from Facebook ads than it is from SEO, where they search for a plumber and they call up a plumber. It's likely they're going to convert. Facebook ads is a whole different game altogether.
I agree. Facebook ad leads are really poor quality. It's a difference between attraction marketing and interruption marketing. This is why I like ranking in Google, because they're already searching for me, my service. So that's a really interested buyer. Whereas Facebook ads, you're interrupting somebody that's scrolling through the feed. They're not even interested in what you have to offer. You have to interrupt them with a coupon and try to convince them to buy. That buyer is not that interested. It's a lower quality lead.
So fulfillment-wise, it depends. Again, if you're doing SEO, I probably wouldn't recommend it because you have to build up a whole new website, and it's a lot more difficult to rank a website from scratch than ranking the existing client website. And you don't want to rank the client website because what if they cancel and they say they don't want to do this anymore after you've already ranked their own website? You need to rank your own, and that's a lot more difficult than ranking an existing website. The other reason you may want to do this is because you're thinking it's easy to sell. Because if I just go out there and rank in my local city for, say, dentists in my local city, and then that website has traffic and then it has leads coming in, well, I can just go ahead and sell those leads for, say, $100, $200 to a dentist, and they'll just pay me for every lead rather than have to convince them to hire me to manage their website. And that's absolutely true, but there's one big downside of that. Number one, again, it's more difficult to rank.
That's exactly right. That's what I was saying. If you're already ranked and generating leads, closing that business owner becomes infinitely easier. That's why it's awesome for beginners.
Your own website than an existing client website. If this business is already on page 1 of Google for dentists in city, it's a heck of a lot easier to move them up to position number 1 than it is to rank a brand new website.
I agree. So for certain niches, you want to just do an SEO deal. Like, it doesn't mean, like, we teach our students SEO deals as well. If it's a dentist where it's tied to a physical location where customers have to actually go to that location, then yeah, you want to just take a good SEO deal, maybe have them pay you $2,000 a month, take that money and do SEO for their website. Maybe they're already on page 1. Dentist is a competitive niche as it is. I wouldn't recommend starting a brand new dentist site, especially when dentist site, the location matters so much. So their website is what really matters. That's attached to their Google My Business. So yeah, for certain situations like a dentist, you definitely want to just do SEO. But what we do is like lead generation for phone-driven businesses. These are businesses that go to your location, like a tow truck, like a roofer, plumber, service-based businesses.
In fact, it's actually quite a bit of a pain to rank new websites, even in local SEO. Beyond that, it's actually still...
It takes a little bit longer to rank a brand new website, but that's also a barrier to entry. This is why a lot of people don't want to do what we do. So a lot of people want to get the quick buck of running a social media paid ad agency. But the problem with that is the easier something is, the more people are going to do it, the more saturated it becomes. And also you're not creating any long-term assets that you own and control.
Pretty difficult to sell, especially if you end up in the wrong industry. For example, if you're trying to sell to like plumbers or something like that, and this sounds really strange, but what we often find is that plumbers don't actually want more business. My parents used to run a local business, and if people called them up and said, do you want more leads?
That's lies. I find plenty of plumbers all the time that are looking for customers. Certain companies for sure don't want any more leads, but there's always that 30%, 40% in the market that want more leads.
They would actually say no, not because they're not interested, that's certainly part of it, but also because they genuinely didn't want more leads.
Some companies are like that, but that's a very selective view on business owners.
They didn't need more business. They couldn't possibly work any more hours in a given day without expanding their company, and they just weren't prepared to do that. And you find many local businesses are in the same situation.
This is why one of the things we teach is different ways to identify the hungry business owner in the marketplace. It's one of the part of due diligence. So if you see plumbers that are running AdWords, you best believe those companies want more leads. Remember, what we generate with free traffic is higher quality lead than AdWords. We can look at different things. If companies are on HomeAdvisor, you best believe they're looking for more leads. If they're running ads on Yelp, you best believe they're looking for more leads. So yeah, there's plenty of different things we can do to identify companies that are hungry for more leads.
So you spend all this time ranking a website, getting traffic coming in, getting leads coming in. You're trying to approach companies to rent the website, buy the leads from you, and they're simply not interested.
But that's because you're doing the business model backward, like wrong. You're missing a step, like I just mentioned.
Because you didn't do the proper research. Now, what is the proper research? The proper research is speaking to people in the industry, and better yet, getting money from them. Because if they pay you for this, you can be sure that they're actually interested in it. But just asking them if they're interested, hey, they may say yes, but to really know, you need to take money from them. Now you can do...
Yeah, we definitely teach active ways of getting money before you even build the lead gen site. We have different techniques and strategies on doing so. Some people are better at that than others. Some people that have natural sales background or talent can definitely try to go get money up front. What you'll find is that for a lot of people, you're going to get rejected a lot, and it's going to be very difficult. Like, I didn't have any sales background when I first started lead gen. So being able to build the website first and getting leads first gave me a lot of confidence, and it allowed me to close business owners like easily.
Lead gen, but at this point, you're pretty much just selling to them anyway. If you go ahead and get a deposit for the first 100 leads, I've done this approach also, then that's great. But at this point, why didn't you just sell them on a retainer? Because that is the alternate model here, right? Rather than selling them...
Yes, of course, you want to ultimately go to a flat fee retainer, but sometimes you have to prove yourself first, especially if you're a beginner, you don't have any track record, you don't have any recommendation from other business owners. Like, you have to prove yourself to get that retainer sometimes, and sometimes that requires putting the work in first, generating leads first, proving yourself.
Say $100 per lead, why don't you just get them to pay you $2,000 a month? Now, you may be thinking that's less, and it's 100% true. It's less when you scale the campaign. It is less, absolutely. Because if you're getting paid per performance, yes, you earn less in the beginning, but longer term, you're going to make more money, usually if you actually deliver good results, which you should if you're doing this anyway. However, you also have to consider second order consequences. What is second order consequences? It means, again, the first order consequence is you get paid today. But what is the second order consequences? What comes as a result of that? For example, if you don't get paid per lead and instead you start charging them $2,000 a month, what happens? Number one is you have a consistent source of cash flow. It's not up and down, and it's not slowly building up and hoping to eventually get exponential. In fact, it's just slowly growing as you're getting paid on these retainers every single month, every new client you build. As a result of that, you can very quickly start hiring freelancers, contractors, VAs, and stuff like that, and building a team essentially to grow your business quicker, which again would grow nice and quickly because this is a very cash flow oriented business that grows very quickly. As a result of all of this, you have a nice profitable business and you have a team which you can then use if you want to.
The problem, obviously, if you have the salesmanship, you can get retainers. You are going to face a lot of rejection, especially if you don't have a track record. Yes, obviously that's going to allow you to grow at a steady pace. But the problem that you can run into is at a certain point, let's say a client's paying you $2,000. Yeah, you can run some AdWords with that budget, but if the client is not happy with the leads that you're generating and you're too busy like closing, just doing sales, you can start to lose clients, especially if you're trying to run paid ads. Man, you like it's so easy to lose clients because they're already spending so much. There's not much margin. But even still, if you're doing SEO or organic lead gen, like 4 or 5 months down the road, you forgot to actually deliver on your promises. You promised that you're gonna get #1 rankings with like XYZ website, and you're not ranked. You can disappoint your client, and the client can leave you, and you'll never get that client back ever again. Whereas if you already have assets that are ranked, that client is already satisfied. He'll never leave you. So you have a lot more of a stronger foundation.
To build your own websites or lead generation websites or anything else. Essentially, it builds quicker when you consider the second order consequences. However, if you're doing lead generation and you're a beginner, what are you relying on? You're relying on this brand new website, building up and doing all this work yourself, so hopefully later you will make money. Will this work? Sure, probably if you do a good job of it. However, you're waiting for the longer term, you have weaker results in the short term, and you're just hoping.
But if you're building, it's like guaranteed income at the end of the day. Like you can do all this like trying to chase and prospect like clients all you want, but if you don't deliver results or you get rejected all the time, you could end up spinning your wheel, get a client, lose a client 2 months later, get another client, lose them a month later. Like you're not building something long-term sustainable. Building lead gen sites is the long-term play. So I say do both. Build 10 lead gen sites at once, keep building those, and then do what Darryl's proposing, which is actively going out there and trying to get flat fee deals. You're gonna get rejected a lot, but if you're not scared of getting yourself out there, I would do both.
That this all works out while not really making money in the meantime. Personally, I prefer to get paid now and then sure.
Everybody wants to get paid now. Like everybody wants that, but like you have to ask yourself, why would a business owner trust you to pay you all this money up front when you're a brand new beginner, you have no experience, you're just getting started? Remember, you're not like Darryl that has a lot of clout with YouTube that's already got reputation, right?
I'm losing a little bit per client in the longer term. However, I'm still gonna make more money in the long term because I'm not just thinking about this one single client. Instead, I'm thinking about the second order consequences that come as a result of landing these.
I don't know, even when you're building lead gen site, you're building second order of consequence because you can build 10 lead gen sites all at once. You're not just building one site and waiting on that site for months and months. You're building 10, 15, you're building 5 every week. Like that's what we teach you, to continue to build more and more
clients and building this team and assembling this cash flow. Now, the only downside you hear from these lead gen guys is, but isn't it really difficult to sell a business for $2,000 a month of SEO services or Facebook ads or anything like that? And yes, it is, relatively speaking. What does that mean? It means it's actually really, really easy. I've proven it on my channel. I've done that.
For some people, it's easy if they have charisma, if they're good at talking to people. If you don't have any sales experience, it's going to be a little bit more difficult, which is why having free leads and building a lead gen site up front nullifies all of that.
You got a 6-figure business in a month and a half. It's really easy if you have the skills to know how to sell this. It's really easy if you know how to ask the right questions, communicate with business owners, and sell these services, which is more about listening than speaking. So if you have the skills, it's really...
It requires a whole new different skill set now. You're asking students to get a whole new different skill set, which is salesmanship. There's whole courses that you have to take to get good at this kind of stuff, and repetition.
Really easy if you don't have the skills.
But if you have free leads in advance, again, you don't need any of that salesmanship. You send free leads to a business owner for a few days. Our software attaches a whisper message. So every time I send free leads to a business owner, it'll say, this lead was sent to you by Ippei right before the customer starts talking. So I've already proven myself. I don't need to do convincing or salesmanship. I call that business owner up 2-3 days later. That business owner already wants to do business with me. You get how doing lead gen allows you to not have any salesmanship, which is why our business model and our coaching program is so successful for so many students that join, that have no prior business experience or sales experience.
Is it really difficult or somewhere in between? And the point is that even if you're selling leads, guess what? It's exactly the same way. People think that if you have leads, you just go in there with a piece of value and people just throw money at you. Oh, you have leads? Great, let me give.
No, they do a lot of times because you can send free leads. The key is free leads. You can send them free leads for 3 days, 4 days, 5 days. They're already making money off of your leads. Of course, they want to do business with you if they're a hungry business owner, which there are plenty of in every market.
Give you money, and it's just not the case. What happens is you email them, you have a really good offer. You say, hey, I have leads that convert. And what's going to happen? People will reply to you and say, I'm not interested. And you just...
Of course, you don't do that. You just send them the value, send them the leads first. Before I even talk to them, I'll just start sending them free leads, and they're going to start hearing my name. right before the customer starts talking. That's how you do this.
To think, what the heck is going on? I'm offering them leads. This is real leads. This is someone calling up looking for a decorator, whatever. And they don't want to pay you for these leads and they're saying they're not interested. And the reason is because you still have to sell. It's a little bit easier to sell, but look at any of the guys that do lead gen and every single one of them can sell. Every single one.
There's a law called the law of reciprocity. It says that if you give something of value to somebody first, they feel naturally psychologically inclined to give back. So when you give free leads to somebody, a business owner, for a few days, and when you call them up, they naturally feel like you're different than all the other marketers that's constantly asking first. You gave value first. It's a psychological trick and it gives you an upper hand in business. And now they feel inclined and they respect you. And now they feel inclined to talk with you, treat you with respect. And that's how start of a great relationship right there.
Them can communicate effectively and properly with business owners. So you're not really skipping over that process. It's just a little bit easier. It's maybe 20-30% easier to sell this. That's not a lot considering that when you sell them,
it's significantly more easier than that if you send free leads up front.
Great, they've agreed to pay for a bunch of leads, but you still have to go out there and generate the leads. Now again, with Facebook ads, you can turn it on maybe within a week with your own money, you can get them converting. However, with SEO, you're looking at 6 months, 12 months, and so on. And maybe what many people do with SEO is they'll build up the website, they'll rank it, they'll try to do 5 different websites, they'll spend thousands of dollars on this, and they'll hope that at the end of the day, they can go out there and find some business owners to buy this from them.
I can't believe Darryl is like trashing on like SEO. Like he is the SEO guy. We have properties that start generating leads anywhere from 2 to 3 months in. So you can start getting clients 2-3 months in. Sometimes it could take up to 4, 5, 6 months. And in terms of the cost of ranking the site, $500 to $1,000 I spent on a lot of my sites that continue to make me legit income each and every month. So the ROI is really high.
And we'll buy the leads from them. And what you don't realize is maybe they're in the wrong niche. And again, it's actually a lot more difficult to sell these leads than people make out. The general advice is send the lead to someone for free and then call them up later and ask them if they want to pay for more. And that can work.
When you have leads in advance, like it's the easiest product that you're going to ever have as an entrepreneur to sell. Name me one product that's easier to sell than like leads in hand, customers in hand that you can hand off to a business owner. If you can't sell that, then there's no other business as an entrepreneur that's going to be an easier sell than that.
It does work, but again, it's not as easy as people make out. Now, the truth is, you can say that for absolutely everything. Everyone says, start an SMA, start a social media marketing agency, and you make loads of money. It's really easy. And it isn't. Again, I'm not saying any of this is easy. I'm just saying that for the effort it takes to sell leads, I'd rather just go out there and get paid $2,000 a month upfront, starting today, get paid for the work, get paid to build my team, have a profit.
Yeah, but you're getting paid like a worker, like an employee. And the client can pay you today, pay you for the next 3-4 months. But what happens if they decide they don't need you anymore and you get replaced? Again, like any book that talks about the principle of wealth tells you that you want income producing assets that you own, not doing SEO service for somebody else's site that they own. You want to create assets that you own that produces income each and every day.
Build business from day one, or at least
It makes you less fragile. And that's the key.
In that first client, than I were to wait for this to come together. Now, the reality is it depends on your goals and what you want.
Honestly, the ideal way is to do both. Do a little bit of like salesmanship where you're getting some money up front, run some AdWords, get some cash flow from other people coming in. But you always want to take your profits and continue to build digital assets that you own. But like Darryl was saying, you have to be very smart about due diligence as well. You want to pick the right market with the right city size, the right niche, because every niche is different with every city, depending on what kind of players are in that city, that market. So you want to do due diligence properly. We have extensive training on that, because the last thing you want to do is waste all this time and money building a lead gen property that doesn't produce.
So what I'm thinking is good for me, what I want to do isn't necessarily good for everyone else. But my main points are, number one, selling leads suck because clients are annoying, they mess them up, and you're relying too much on them not screwing things up. When they're paying you a retainer, you'll get them paid a retainer. And as well,
selling leads are a hassle if you're doing paid ads. If it's free traffic, it's hassle free.
Honest, I can bet in some of them, you don't really.
Darryl's kind of mixing two different things here. He's mixing like lead generation when you're running AdWords agency, the hassle that comes with that, and also lead generation, like some of the challenges of doing free traffic, organic traffic, when you actually have to rank your own website. AdWords agency versus ranking a website, which is what we teach. So Darryl's kind of mixing the two together to paint this narrative when it suits his narrative.
really lose anything there, okay? It's not really your problem at that point. And number two is that it's not actually that easy. You still have to sell, and it's still not that easy to sell, and you have to get results. Now, does that mean that the lead generation business doesn't work? Heck no, it works extremely well. You can make tens of thousands of dollars a month from this. It's not easy, but you can absolutely get there. However, again, I prefer personally to get that cash flow coming in every single month.
I make 50 grand a month in lead generation, and this is all produced by assets that I own, so it's really stable. No one can take it away from me. Whereas if you're making money off of lead generation running paid ads, the client can fire you at any time. If you're making money running an SEO agency, the client can fire you at any time. Again, most stable, most hands-free passive income is to actually own the asset.
Paid upfront and to get paid to build up my team. And you consider the second order consequences. Yes, per client, I will make less money. However, I'm getting paid upfront, which allows me to get more clients easier, and I'm cash flow positive quicker, and I can use that money to build up my own websites, whether that is lead generation later on. They have a team managing this for you, so it's not as bad losing that money in the short term, or if it's affiliate sites, or if it's anything else. But again, it depends on.
Yeah, so Darryl talks about being able to invest money in lead generation. He just kind of admitted it that it's good to invest in lead generation properties, of course. So what my point is, it's good to do both in the beginning. Investing in lead generation properties is going to yield undeniable results a few months into the future. Whereas if you're just trying to do retainers up front with clients, the clients can leave you. Also, when you're a beginner without a track record, building lead gen properties is going to be the easiest way for you to start earning income, because you don't have a track record. Why would business owners trust you with their credit card or their money?
On your goals. And again, I've gone out there and done this. Also, it's just not a business model I'm interested in, mostly because the clients are annoying. Anyway, look, that's my thoughts on the lead generation business. I'm interested to hear yours in the comment section below. And if you like this video, do me a favor, click the link.
I think Darryl just had a few bad experiences with some clients with lead gen and he just stopped. But really, I don't think he was really even trying have experience building a lead gen business, because this is a kid that's built like SEO agency for the longest time, made pretty good money because lead gen wasn't really a thing back then as much, and he started his YouTube and started making money off of that. So I really don't think Darryl truly understands like the power, or he actually ever did a lead gen business for any significant amount of time.
Below, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in my next video.
All right, I hope you guys like that video. The reason why I like lead generation, owning your own assets, that's really gonna be the key to allow you to create a sustainable income for yourself on the internet. I've had SEO agency, SEO clients, I've had AdWords clients. They're not with me anymore. It's only lead gen clients where I actually own the asset, where I have clients that have stuck with me for 7+ years. Some of them are going on our 8th year. No AdWords client or SEO client have stuck around that long, at most 1 year, okay? Most clients drop out 6-7 months in, they begin dropping out. That's the most important thing to keep in mind. It's not about what you can just make today. You can try to make money as quickly as possible. No. What Darryl failed to point out is the longevity of these clients over the course of 3, 4, 5, 6 years. That's the perspective that I have of being in this space for now 7+ years. And again, there's nothing wrong with going after the fast money, like SEO client or paid ad client. We teach that in our program as well, for fast money, just to get money coming in. But with the caveat of, we just want the fast money so that you can take that money to invest into digital properties that you own, lead gen properties. So that's always going to be our goal. So this is why our program is so comprehensive, because we don't teach one or the other. We teach both, but it's important to understand when to utilize both different skill sets. Yeah, if you like what I'm putting down, we have a coaching program. We've been coaching since 2014. We have over 7,000 students. So yeah, click on the link in the description, and then I will talk to you guys later.